Week 8, I'm able to get up. You've got to move correctly. This is what I have learned. Bending, bad idea. Twisting, really bad idea. And I'm stubborn, she says. I finally have gotten to the point, I got one of those grabber things, and I'll ask her, would you pick that up for me? So I have this other issue in that I had MS. So my left hand has some issues, has like permanent disability issues. It's useful, but I drop things. I call it the flying coffee cup syndrome. Holding your coffee and your hand just lets go. I'm like, what are you doing that for? Well, it's because there's something wrong. That's why I'm doing that for. That's another story. So the MS thing, they think it's MS. It's probable MS. I'm like, probable. Okay. I might do a thing on that because that was terrible. The whole trying to figure that out. They have no idea. There's so many mimicry things that can look like MS. They do all these tests on you. Anyway, my left leg is really weak too. And I think that I was born with a hip problem. That leg will dislodge, twist out like this, sideways. But when I was a kid, they told my parents, okay, she doesn't have a fully formed hip on that side, and you have two options. You can have her have surgery, or you can not put shoes on her. Let her run around barefoot and learn to walk, and hopefully she will learn how to, and maybe bone will do something. And they chose the latter. My mom said, you were such a determined kid. You'd walk 2 steps, fall down, get up, keep going. I had teenage brothers and sisters, and I wanted to be with them. I was the baby, came way late. And, like my brothers, I'm not taking you with me unless you know how to use a potty, because I'm not changing your diaper. I was out of diapers so fast. I'm like, no, I want to go with them. They're fun. I want to go with my sister. I want to go with my brother. So that hip is giving me a lot of problems because, okay, so that one leg is shorter than the other. My father's mother was 4'9", and one leg was multiple inches shorter. So when she'd walk, she walked like this. And I got that. My sister has some of it. My nieces, her children have some. We all walk the same. Mine's only like, it's not a bunch. It's not like hers. But it's enough that my hips sit crooked. I think this has something to do with why my back went like this. And so, guess what? They straighten everything. They put the rods in and you're all straight. So, I'm having hip pain. And this leg is misbehaving. I'm walking with a cane. I can go without a cane, but not a long distance because they start hurting. The hips just start hurting. And I know they said, oh, you should be walking 2 miles. I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding? Maybe if I didn't have bad hips already, I'm going to end up having a hip replacement. I just know I am. And my knees fucked up now. I have bad knees. I had them scoped. They cleaned them up. Well, the one that has bone on bone, because when I go to pick stuff up, I spread my legs and then I kneel down, right? Well, it puts lateral pressure on your knee, and I think this is the one that had some ACL tears in it. Not complete, so it's bothering me, and it's all because of the surgery. So anything you have wrong with you from waist down will be accentuated by the surgery if they straighten things out. If your hips were straight in the first place, you'll probably do way better than me. My brother walks better than me. He doesn't have it. He's had all those fused, but he doesn't have the leg thing to add to the stress. His back didn't go like this. He didn't have that forward, backward. Let's see, it's called spondylolisthesis and restithesis. They are long words that I've never heard someone pronounce, so I'm not sure. So I got that. I also have radiculopathy, which I've heard many times, so I know how to say that, and stenosis. He's like, and when I went in, he's like, I can't do minimally invasive. You have this and this and this and this and this and degenerative disc. Oh, and you have bulging discs all over the place and bone spurs and okay, let's do this. So I have cadaver bone down until it gets to that. There's one at the bottom that is where we hinge. It's kind of like the most used spot in the bottom. And what he did is, while I was under, they put a needle into my femur and they took out bone marrow. And then in that one, they cleaned out the inside of the disc, but they left the outside. And they put this little thing in that's like titanium and plastic or something. It's a spacer. Then they filled in with that bone marrow all around so that it would heal quickly. The doctor, before the surgery, he's like, at the top where I put the screws in, I would like to put some glue in there. I'm like epoxy? He's like, yes. I'm like, well, no different than we're working on concrete. You drill a hole, you put epoxy in, you put the thing in. He's like, yep. I'm like, have at it. That sounds good. And at the bottom, I want to use a different kind of screw. It's a new thing for into your pelvis kind of area. I'm like, okay, I trust you. You are a Blue Cross Blue Shield center of excellence. The doctors that are there. Those peacocks are stopping traffic. Truck stopped. They're just standing there looking at the truck. Oh, walking. Okay, it walked. Oh, it's moving forward. They're looking like, oh my God, that's a peacock. I love this. People just stop. They stopped their car in the middle of the road. I saw a Cadillac the other day. Come to a stop, back up. Look, start driving forward. Just completely like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. So, all that was done. I'm numb the top of my ass. And right there's a band. Can't feel it. It's weird. I kind of feel it. You know, like when your foot goes really asleep and you touch it. And not when you have the pins and needles. When it's like asleep. You're like, oh. I can barely feel down there. I healed up the top really well. I had 2 spots at the bottom. Did not want to heal. They were little. They were like this big. But they looked kind of gooey around them and dark, like black. Like you're looking into my back. There's no light in there. And my wife's like, "That I am looking in your back. These holes are not." So what we did was I had taken off the bandage because it was healed. Well, those 2 spots just had gooey stuff. They weren't truly healed. So we had to start bandaging again. So one of the things we used, it's called Silvix. You can get it at Walmart or Walgreens. And it is an antibacterial, comes in a little tiny tube, it's really expensive, that has silver in it. And silver is a natural antibiotic. Bacteria is not immune to silver. Now, if you drink it, silver, you get a blue like that blue guy that you see him on the internet. It's not good for you to internally, but if you put it on your skin, it works great. So you should put a little bit of that on and a bandage, and after about 2 weeks, those spots finally healed. So I'm completely healed. They did not want to heal. We got them healed. I've had that happen before, where I've had spots that when I had a full hysterectomy, internally, there was a spot that didn't want to heal. I was spotting. She looked in there. My gynecologist, got a spot that's just being troublesome. Just give it 2 more weeks. And it did. It finally healed. If I get cut, I heal really fast. I'm not sure why. They say blood flow is the issue. And those 2 spots did not bleed. And I'm wondering if the scar tissue around was keeping blood flow from it. So bandaging it and making it do its thing, not in the open, seemed to work. So they're healed. It's good. I have a very long scar. The top of it will hurt. The top of my fusion is where I get a lot of pain now. So anyway, the pain level goes down every week. And now it's an ache. It's like, oh, my back aches. I have a backache. It's an ache, true ache. And then in my butt, sometimes I have these really sharp, hot poker needles. Feels like it's being shoved in. And I think it's where those giant screws are. You know, there's these big screws and they put the rods in them. I'm like, you've got titanium screws and rods, most likely titanium. When I go up for my next one, I'm asked, what kind of metal is in me? I would like to know this. And, they hurt. Like, you're leaning sometimes back. I noticed that in my butt. And my brother said the same thing. Those screws, they hurt. So you finally get enough scar tissue around them that they're not poking you anymore. The bathroom. Good things that have come from this. My sciatica's gone. Both legs gone. No more sciatica. History. However, I have some other pain. Like, for one night, I'm laying in bed. I'm like, God, my foot's on fire. The side of my foot feels like someone's holding a flame to it, and it's going up my leg. And that happened for about 4 days, and then it started going away. Well, my doctor, when I saw my PA, he said, well, you had nerves that were smushed or stretched. You had both going on. Either way, they're getting used to being okay. And you'll have all these weird phantom things going. Yep. Some bug is crawling up my leg. That's the latest on this one leg. Like, I know nothing's crawling on my leg, but goddamn, it feels like it is. All those things eventually go away. You get these, like, one of the things I have now is my ribs hurt. And I get real achy if I turn and twist. I know it's fusing. I know the top is fused. It's that spot in the lower back that I don't think is fused yet. I can move slightly and I feel it. I'm like, I'm trying not to do stuff. I mean, I was a carpenter. I like doing things. I'm boredom. I'm bored. I want to do stuff. So I have a tablet and I have a bunch of drawing programs and things on there. So I'm designing the inside. I took CAD drafting for a while in school. I'm redesigning the entire inside of my camper. And my wife and I are going to redo it. She's going to do a lot of that work. I'm the brain. She'll be the brawn. She's very strong. My wife is a big, beautiful black woman, and she is strong. That woman would be strong. We had to put a dog down last year, right before Thanksgiving. A year ago Thanksgiving. Not this last one, but the one before. So it's been a year and a half. My dog was an Australian Shepherd, but she was an 80-pound Australian. She's a big dog. Like, this dog is not, she appeared on my property when I had property. Just appeared. A puppy. Dumped by the river, because I was near the Des Moines River, my property was. I know she was dumped. Oh, what a best dog ever. We didn't know what she was mixed with. I thought Bernese Mountain Dog, maybe? She looked like a Bernese Mountain Dog. That same tricolor thing going on. But her ears and her muzzle weren't right. They were very Aussie, Spaniel-y, What a good dog. That dog bonded to me. And she got cancer at 10 years old. That dog had never been sick. Never. Nothing wrong with her. She was like this perfect dog. She did what she was supposed to. She was incredibly smart. She was loving. She was beautiful. What a beautiful dog. She had beautiful fur that waved. And she got cancer and started growing tumors on her face. And it was a type of T-cell lymphoma. And they can't do anything. We had her on some meds to help. And we probably got an extra month. And I'm like, no, she's in pain. She stopped eating. When she stopped eating, I knew it was time. Because, man, that dog liked food. And my wife could pick her up. She was at 79 pounds. I couldn't pick her up. I'd be, wearing a back brace in traction or something if I tried to pick that dog up. So we lost her. And a year goes by and I have my back done. I really wish I had her. She's, like a therapy dog. She was so sweet. We have another dog that came to us. She's a fox terrier. She's a terrier. She's right down here. Hi, baby. She does bad things sometimes. She's a terrier. Terriers are impulsive, so I have a troublesome dog, and she comes with me each day. I have an old sleeping bag down here, and that's her nest. She's a good girl, though. She took a lot of work to get her to where she's at. I believe in trained dogs. I don't have dogs that aren't trained. But 16 weeks out, I can walk through Menards, cane. Unless I'm doing a short distance, then I don't need a cane. But my hip will start to really hurt. The cane really helps. So you always use your cane on the opposite side from the bad leg. And I always thought, well, that's odd. No, it isn't. It's because when you're walking and your good leg goes forward and then your bad leg, you've got the cane moves with your bad leg. And so it takes pressure off the leg. And I have come to know how to use a cane. And when I'm using a cane, I can take a lot of pressure off that hip. I want to go back to being able to walk without a cane. I have some goals. Goal 1, put my socks on easier, get dressed easier, working on that. Stand there and look at your pants and go, how am I going to get those on? Like, I can lift my left leg up. It's so funny. I can lift it up like I'm laying in bed. I can lift this leg up and put it on the other one, like if my knees up, cross my legs. Can't do it with the right one. The right one's a strong leg, though. If I'm trying to get up off the ground, I cannot get myself up without using my arms. And my brother's so funny. He's like, he was in the Navy. Your guns are going to get bigger. My guns? He's talking biceps. I'm like, yes, they have. My arms are definitely stronger because I can't get up without using my arms. I got stuck in his yard. And I had to crawl over to his pickup truck, grab the tailgate, and get up that way. Because my legs are not strong enough. And I'm trying to walk, but my hip is fucked up. I don't know, what am I supposed to do here? I'm going to end up with a hip replacement. I just know. I see it coming. Well, maybe they can fix it. It'll be interesting to have a leg that's not broken. That leg's been bad forever. Last summer, I dislocated it twice working in the garden. Oh, every time that happens, it's like pulls all those muscles. And I've had a groin pull in there, too, from that hip. It's funny. When I went in to see the doctor the second time before the surgery, the nurse, of course, comes in first, and she's looking at my file, and she's like, so you're here to have your neck work done? I'm like, probably, but not this time. She's like, oh, you're here for your back. Your neck's just as bad as your back. I'm like, yep. That'll be on the agenda, I'm sure. There's one that's really bad. That would be a minimally invasive. That's what I'd tell him. Just do that spot that's so bad and leave the rest alone. I could do that. It wouldn't hurt near as bad. Man, did this hurt. So if you get online and you look, like on YouTube, and look for what they do where they pry the skin open and there's your back, and then take a pair of pliers and they start snipping things off so they can get to everything, I'm like, they just snip that off like it's nothing, like I'm snipping through a big wire. Snap, 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 snap. And then they're, cutting disc stuff off and shoving bones, stretching you and putting bones in between. I watched a little bit of one and went, oh, that's a good way to terrorize yourself. I don't want to know this. I do want to know, though. I'm one of those people, kind of know. I've watched, what does it look like when they scope your knee, when they take out your gallbladder, when you get a hysterectomy, all the things I've done. I got on and looked. Well, I had 10. There's 10 vertebrae with screws in them. Bing, 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 bing. No wonder it hurt. They practically scrape your bone, your muscles away. It's a mess in there when they do that. I can get in and out of my van. It's 2 steps in. Easier than like my brother has a Sonoma. An older one, so it's really low to the ground. And it's like falling into his truck. Then getting up is like, if my knees are bent more than 90 degrees, like squatting, kind of thing, or in his car, where I have a hard time getting up then. And I got to keep working on my legs, but man, does it hurt to walk a long way. that hip just gets so upset. He got an electric bicycle, or an exercise bicycle. It is electric though. You have to put batteries in it. Tells you how far you've went. You can set it, and it's got all this. Friend of his is letting him borrow it. He's like, "Come ride this bike." I'm like, "Okay, we'll see if it hurts my hip or not. I'm gonna try it." Let's see. What else? Oh, okay, so getting in and out of cars, getting on and off the toilet. Have a rise toilet. If you have a low toilet, I had a low toilet. I had 2 handles on the wall in front of it so I could pull myself up. You want a higher toilet. Just saying. You can get an extension for your toilet so it's higher. Will make your life easier. Okay, driving. So my first drive, drove 4 miles with the camper. Parked it. It was okay. Then I had to go 40 miles. It's 40 miles into Des Moines to where I have from some really good friends. And they let me put my little camper in their garage on and off. But now I have a bigger camper, so I can't get up their driveway, which is like this. They're in the hilliest part of Des Moines. Their place. I love them so much, but I cannot get my camper up their driveway. It's not going to happen. It's way too big. You can't put it in the garage. The neighbors will call it in if they think someone's living in it. You're not supposed to blah, blah, blah. Code compliance. I've dealt with them before. I dealt with them in St. Petersburg, Florida, and Des Moines, Iowa. Didn't have a problem at my sister's. Don't think they gave a hoot what we were doing. And at Barbara's, they would have had a cow. That's why it was in the garage, and I was still living. That was my bedroom. So, I can't remember where I was going with this. Oh, driving, right. So driving. So we do the 40-mile trip. Oh my God, my back hurt. Ah! I'm like, there's something not right with the seat. The seat's terrible. My back's killing me. Well, my doctor didn't give me a back brace at all. When my sister had hers done, she had to wear a back brace. My brother had a back brace to use intermittently. He gave me his. I'm like, thank you. It was the only way I could drive because my back kept trying to curve, I think, while I'm sitting in the chair. So I'd put on that brace tight, and then I could drive. And that's how I was able to drive I think it was 450 miles to his place from here. Took 3 days. Go 100 and some miles, stop for the night. Go 100 and some miles, stop for the night. So, got there. Finally, was able to drive there because of the back brace. Now, I'm not wearing it now, which tells me my back is fused. Except for that one spot. I just know that one spot isn't fused because I can move my back. I can feel it down there like something ain't right. It's not fused yet. But it's mostly fused. So I'm sitting. Now, the seats are basically upright in this van, so that's nice. I gotta take off my coat. Hang on.